Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive.
Great to be diving in.
Today we're embarking on, well, a truly profound journey, I think.
Absolutely.
Our mission for this deep dive is to explore some ancient wisdom on liberation and mindful living, and we're getting it straight from a really unique set of sources.
Yeah, these are quite special texts.
So what are we diving into today? We're taking a deep look at one Eka-nipāto, which translates roughly as the Book of the Ones. It's a collection of powerful single verses from the Theragāthā.
Which means verses of the elder monks.
Exactly. And these aren't just, old poems collecting dust somewhere.
No, not at all. They're more like direct reflections from these incredibly wise, enlightened Buddhist monks.
Right. The text itself says they were having clearly seen and touched the unconditioned state, and they shared what they have done, reflecting.
It's firsthand experience, essentially. Very powerful.
Imagine, a shortcut to understanding the very core of inner peace and freedom.
Straight from the people who actually got there.
Yeah. So get ready to unpack some timeless insights that honestly might just change how you think about your own well-being.
Should be fascinating.
Okay, so let's start with where these practitioners, where they practiced, how they approached their environment.
Right, their surroundings.
What's really striking is how they talk about their living conditions. It's not seen as, deprivation.
Not at all. It's almost the opposite. They saw it as an ideal setting for the deep inner work they were doing.
Which really highlights this principle, doesn't it? That outer simplicity can actually help foster inner depth.
Precisely. It suggests the real sanctuary isn't about perfect external circumstances.
It's something you cultivate inside.
Exactly. A state of mind that isn't really shaken by what's happening outside.
And you see that so clearly in these verses. There's this recurring theme about finding the right place for practice.
Often solitary places.
Yes. Often described really simply as a hut or kutika, like Subhuti's verse, the very first one, th1. He describes his hut as roofed, pleasant, sheltered from wind. Pretty basic.
But then the crucial part.
Right. He adds, his mind is well concentrated, liberated, even when the god reigns, even when there's a storm outside.
It's such a powerful image. Inner stillness, despite the outer turmoil.
And it's not just him. You mentioned others.
Oh, yes. Building right on that, you see Goriko, Subahu, Valio, and Utio, verses 51 through 54.
Okay.
They all echo that same sentiment. A comfortable enough hut, sure, but paired with a concentrated, mindful mind, even amidst the rain.
So it's a deliberate choice. The setting helps, maybe, but it doesn't create the peace.
Exactly. The inner work is primary. The external supports it.
But it wasn't always about huts, was it? Sometimes it was just nature itself.
Absolutely. Venavachathara in verse 13, he just delights in the landscape.
What does he say?
He talks about beautiful blue-colored mountains with cool waters and clear streams covered with red beetles. Those rocks delight my mind.
Wow. So the peace comes from connecting with the natural world directly.
Yes. And Ramanyako, in verse 29, takes it maybe even a step further.
How so?
He says, though birds chirp and cicadas buzz, my mind is not disturbed. It delights in solitude. The sounds are there, but they don't pull him away.
The inner focus holds strong.
Precisely. And in all these cases, what's really crucial is the purpose behind seeking this solitude.
Right. It's not just about being alone.
No. Look at Anyanyadavya in verse 55. He apparently made a hut out of an asandi.
Which is like a chair or a seat.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Very simple. And through that dedicated practice, he achieved the Tiso Vijja Anupata.
The three knowledges, which are?
Typically understood as knowing past lives, the divine Isene beings, rebirths, and crucially, the destruction of all mental defilements or effluence.
So the simple seat became the space for profound insight. The structure was just a tool.
It affirms that perfectly. It's a means to an end.
It's almost like the hut becomes a symbol for that inner space, that inner sanctuary.
Yeah.
There's that lovely little dialogue from Kuvihari in verse 56. Someone asks, who is in the hut?
And the answer.
The monk in the hut, free from passion, well-concentrated mind.
Ah, see? It confirms the hut's real meaning, its purpose.
But then there's a twist, a kind of warning.
Yes, there is. Another monk, also called Kuvihari, in verse 57, offers a really nuanced caution.
About becoming attached to the hut itself.
Exactly. He says something like, this is said to be an old hut, you desire another new hut. Abandon the desire for huts, monk, a new hut is suffering again.
Wow. So even something that helped your practice can become a new source of clinging if you're not careful.
It's a very subtle point, but so important.
Yeah.
Mindfulness is needed even towards the aids to practice.
Which means it's really not about luxury or even perfect conditions. It's about that inner simplicity.
And they certainly didn't shy away from discomfort when needed.
No. Gavaratirio, verse 31, talks about being stung by flies and mosquitoes in the great forest.
Sounds rough.
Like an elephant at the head of a battle, mindful he endures.
That really shows the depth of their commitment, doesn't it? Finding peace, regardless of the external challenges. Incredible resolve.
Okay, so we've talked about their surroundings. Let's shift now, transition from the external to the powerful internal work that really defines these verses.
Yes, the cultivation of the mind.
What's so compelling here is how they viewed self-mastery. It wasn't some abstract idea.
No, it was presented as a very practical, almost, an art form you could learn, actionable.
And the core insight, I think, running through these analogies they use is this profound call to recognize our own agency.
Yes, radical agency. The mind might be naturally wild, like prone to wandering.
Definitely feels that way sometimes.
Right. But here it's shown as being infinitely trainable. And the true liberation starts with that conscious, deliberate choice to kind of sculpt our inner world.
Which brings up that big question about personal agency and transformation, doesn't it?
It really does. How much are we truly directing our own minds day to day?
It's a challenging question. And these verses dive right into it, offering incredible perspectives.
They don't shy away from it.
You see these really strong declarations of self-control almost immediately. Dabo, Balyo, Viro, verses 5, 7, 8. They all talk about being previously untamable, but now tamed by self-control.
And becoming victorious, fearless, tamed, extinguished with a steadfast mind.
It's all about taking charge of that inner landscape, isn't it?
Absolutely. And they use these wonderful, vivid analogies to make it clear.
Like the Fletcher.
Yes, the Fletcher analogy from Kudo, verse 19. It's a classic.
Remind us how it goes.
Irrigators lead water, Fletchers straighten arrows, carpenters bend wood, the wise train themselves.
This is so clear, a practical image for self-discipline.
Incredibly actionable.
And then Harito, in verse 29, takes it and applies it directly.
How so?
He says, straighten yourself like a Fletcher straightens an arrow, make your mind straight, cut off ignorance.
It's not just abstract advice. It's like, here's the instruction manual for your mind.
Align yourself, cut away what obscures the view.
And then there's the elephant trainer analogy. Equally powerful.
Ah, yes, from Hataro Haputo, verse 77.
Right. He says something like, formerly this mind wandered wherever it wanted, however it pleased.
Sounds familiar.
Today I shall restrain it thoroughly, like an elephant trainer with a goad restrains a rutting elephant.
Whoa, that's a strong image. It implies real, deliberate, powerful control.
It does. It's not about suppression, maybe, but skillfully guiding this huge inner energy.
But it's not all positive instruction. There's also a pretty stark warning against, well, letting yourself go.
Yes, against heedlessness and indulgence. Dasko, verse 17.
That was quite blunt, isn't it?
It is. He describes a sluggish and gluttonous person as being like a great pig fed on slops, doomed to repeatedly enter the womb. It's an unvarnished look at the consequences, in their view, of lacking self-discipline, of just giving in to every impulse.
That contrast really throws the importance of conscious effort into sharp relief.
It absolutely does. It highlights the choice involved. And you also see these tangible stories of people shifting their whole life's focus.
Like Simogalo.
Exactly. In verse 43, he talks about how he used to be a farmer, you know, engaged with plows, with small hoes.
A life of labor.
Right. And then he celebrates being well freed from the three crooked things, likely greed, hatred, delusion, and fully embraces meditation.
And he urges himself on.
Yes, that's self-injunction. Meditate, sumagala. Meditate, sumagala. Dwell heedfully, sumagala. It's a powerful personal account of redirecting one's life energy.
So we've looked at the path, the inner work, the self-mastery. Let's turn now to the destination.
The outcome.
What does all this cultivation actually lead to? Because it's clearly not just about philosophy or, intellectual ideas.
No, it's portrayed as a complete, even radical transformation of one's whole being.
Leading to this unshakable state of peace.
Yes. And what's really striking as you look across these different verses from different individuals is how consistent the language is when they describe this ultimate liberation. It's almost identical sometimes, even though they had varied backgrounds.
Interesting. What does that suggest?
Well, it strongly suggests a verifiable, perhaps even universal experience they tapped into. This profound peace and freedom wasn't unique to one person's imagination.
Which then raises that important question.
If the path and the outcome are laid out so clearly, even in these ancient texts, what stops more people today from actively seeking that kind of ultimate freedom?
That is a profound question. And these verses, they really offer a glimpse into what that freedom looks like.
They do.
Sukhuti, back in verse 1, just says it so simply. My mind is well concentrated, liberated.
Simple but immense.
And Kulagavacho, verse 11, talks about aspiring to the peaceful state, the happiness of the cessation of fabrications, not just fleeting happiness, but the end of inner turmoil.
These are described as lasting states of deep inner peace.
And born from that peace comes this recurring theme of fearlessness.
Yes, especially about death, which is pretty remarkable.
Ahito, in verse 20, declares, I have no fear of death, no craving for life.
Think about that. No fear of death, no desperate clinging to life.
He says, I shall lay down this body, fully comprehending, mindful. It's like this profound peace extends right to the very end, transcending what must be a near-universal fear.
It's an incredible claim of transcendence.
And Nigrodho, in verse 21, reinforces it so powerfully.
What does he say?
I am not afraid of fear. Our teacher is skilled in the immortal. Monks walk that path where fear does not stand.
Wow, where fear does not stand. It points directly to a path, a way of being, where suffering and fear are just overcome. True liberation.
And the texts often mark this ultimate attainment with specific terms. You mentioned the 3 knowledges earlier.
Yes, Tisovija. Knowledge of past lives, the divine eye, and the destruction of defilements.
And also the destruction of effluence.
Right, asavakayo. The complete wiping out of those deep-seated mental taints or defilements, sensual desire, craving for existence, ignorance, wrong views.
And several monks mention achieving these.
Yes, Anavanyo, who we mentioned, made the hut from a chair, Megyo in verse 66, Paraparyo in 116. They all speak of reaching these states.
Partaparyo puts it very clearly.
Ekadamasavanyo, actually in verse 67, is very direct. My defilements are burnt, all existences are uprooted, the cycle of birth is destroyed, there is no more rebirth.
No more rebirth. That's the ultimate cessation of suffering in this worldview.
It is.
And Rakido, in verse 79, gives another vivid declaration. All passion has been abandoned by me, all hatred uprooted, all delusion departed from me. I am cooled, extinguished.
Cooled, extinguished. It's the extinguishing of the fires of greed, hatred, and delusion. A remarkable state of inner calm.
And the Dhamma itself, the teachings, are described almost like the ultimate nourishment.
Absolutely. Parapuchako, verse 91, calls it a deathless nectar.
A deathless nectar.
Yes, he says, no deathless nectar, 100 tastes, well prepared, is like what I've partaken of today. The Dhamma taught by Gautama the Buddha, the boundless seer.
So the understanding itself is more satisfying, more sustaining than any worldly pleasure.
That's the claim. Profound satisfaction found right there in the wisdom teachings.
And this inner state, this liberation, it's not just mental, is it? It can apparently even manifest physically.
There are hints of that. Kitako, in verse 104, describes his body feeling light, permeated by abundant joy and happiness.
Like how?
Like cotton blown by the wind, my body floats.
Imagine feeling that light, that kind of physical expression of inner peace.
It suggests a complete transformation, body and mind.
And then there's Tiso's story, verse 97, that really illustrates the detachment involved.
Ah, yes, the letting go of material wealth. It's quite impactful.
He talks about renouncing a 100-pound bronze bowl, a 100-striped golden robe, serious valuables.
Definitely symbols of status and wealth.
And he exchanges them for just a simple clay bowl.
And calls that exchange his second anointing. His second coronation, essentially.
It's such a powerful symbol, isn't it? Liberation from clinging to possessions, valuing that inner freedom far above any outer accumulation.
A profound shift in values.
Okay, so we've touched on these grand achievements, this ultimate liberation, but let's bring it back down to earth a bit.
The practical application.
Exactly. Because woven throughout these verses, there's just immense practical wisdom for daily life.
Absolutely.
And this stuff isn't just for monks meditating alone in a forest somewhere.
No, these feel like timeless life lessons, really relevant for anyone trying to navigate, a busy, modern, information-overloaded world.
It's like a roadmap for finding greater presence and clarity right here and now.
Yeah, the overarching lesson seems to be that these verses give us actionable principles.
Yeah.
Things we can actually do to cultivate wisdom and well-being, whatever our external situation looks like.
Which brings us back to that question.
How can these ancient insights be integrated into your life, the listener's contemporary life, to actually foster more presence, more clarity?
That's the real challenge, isn't it? How to make it work today.
It is.
And these texts are just packed with pointers. One huge one is the importance of wise association. Who you hang out with matters.
Definitely. Eka-nipāta, verse 4, is very clear on this.
What's his advice?
He says one should associate only with the good, with the wise, with those who see benefit, because through them, the wise, diligent, and discerning attain the great, deep benefit.
Choose your company wisely because it shapes you.
And Susardo, verse 75, strongly reinforces that.
How so?
He says, good it is to see the well-practiced. Doubt is cut off, wisdom grows, even a fool becomes wise. Therefore, good is the association with the good.
So our environment, including the people in it, has a profound effect on our inner state. Makes sense.
Absolutely.
And then there's this constant emphasis on heedfulness. Appamato.
Vigilant, non-negligent awareness.
Yes. Kasalavihari, verse 59, just reminds us to dwell heedfully and ardently, comprehending and mindful.
It's about paying attention consistently, not letting the mind just drift off into carelessness.
And this mindfulness, this heedfulness, isn't just for when things are easy.
No, that's a key point. Uttio, in verse 30, shows how challenges themselves can become opportunities.
How does that work?
He says, when affliction arose in me, mindfulness arose. Affliction has arisen in me. It is time for me not to be heedless.
Ah, so the difficulty itself acts like an alarm bell. Wake up, pay attention now.
Exactly. The arising problem becomes the prompt for deeper awareness, a trigger to be present.
That's a powerful reframe. And on the flip side, there's a strong caution against just aimless wandering and distraction.
Yes, losing focus. Kamaputasa Sayako, verse 37, asks quite pointedly.
What's the question?
They go to various regions, wandering unrestrained, and spoil their concentration. What will country wandering do?
It's a warning against getting lost in constant novelty seeking, maybe. Realizing that depth comes from sustained attention, not just flitting about.
I think that's exactly it. And this connects directly to the subtle dangers of just letting our senses run wild without mindfulness.
Which is a really crucial practical warning for everyday life.
Extremely practical. Apayo in verse 98 describes it with sight. Seeing a form, mindfulness lost, paying attention to a pleasing sign, his effluence increase, leading to existence.
So seeing something attractive, losing presence, getting caught up, it binds you further.
And Uttio says almost the exact same thing about sound in verse 99. Hearing a sound, mindfulness lost. Effluence increase, leading to the cycle of rebirth.
Without that present moment awareness, our senses, our reactions to them, can just lead us deeper into patterns of desire and suffering.
It's a key mechanism they identified.
But with mindfulness, the opposite happens. You gain comprehensive understanding.
Yes, Suamanto puts that beautifully in verse 106.
How does he phrase it?
Of a 100-faceted object bearing 100 marks, the foolish one sees only one aspect, but the wise one sees 100.
Ah, so it's about seeing the whole picture, gaining true discernment, not just being stuck on one narrow view.
Exactly. Seeing things as they truly are, in their complexity.
And woven through all of this practical advice, there's also compassion.
Yes, that's vital. So Paco's verse number 33 is a beautiful expression of this.
What does it advise?
As one would be skilled, careful, with an only beloved son, so should one be skilled everywhere with all beings.
Universal care, extending that careful attention and empathy outwards.
It's a core part of the path. It's not just about self-liberation and isolation.
And finally, maybe underlying so much of this is the constant reflection on impermanence.
Yes, Enika, the transient nature of all things.
Gento, in verse 111, reminds us, hard is renunciation, hard to dwell in houses, deep is the Dhamma, hard to attain possessions.
Life presents challenges.
It is proper to constantly reflect on impermanence.
That awareness that everything changes, that life is transient, can be a really powerful motivator for practice.
Yeah, urging us to find what is truly lasting amidst all the change.
Precisely.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, wow, we've really seen how these ancient voices, through their own profound experiences documented in Eka-nipāto,
They really illuminate a path.
they absolutely do. A path to radical freedom and deep inner peace. And they remind us again and again that true liberation isn't really found in changing our external circumstances or getting more stuff.
No, it's found in that internal work. Mastering the mind, cultivating wisdom, letting go of attachments.
So as you reflect on these powerful insights, maybe ask yourself, what little hut of inner peace, what small space of calm can you start to build today, right in the middle of your everyday life?
Yeah, amidst all the busyness.
And what unruly elephant of your own mind are you ready to start guiding gently but firmly with wisdom, knowing that even one small act of self-discipline or one moment of genuine compassion
Can have ripples.
Yeah.
Can make a real difference.
It really can. Until next time, keep diving deep.